Welcome back to another episode of Wild Takes. Today we're going to give you our stick taps, take a lap. We're going to talk to you about the Minnesota Wild woes, where we think we can fix this team, and then on top of that too, some of the line changes that we want to see from your Minnesota Wild, or not line changes. Make sure you tune in. Let's have some fun. What I want to do right off the bat, though, is I want to tell you about the easiest way to get some action on sports. It's with Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite or least favorite player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. Underdog keeps it super simple with their easy-to-use website and mobile apps. Pick between 2 to 5 players and fill out your pick'em entry. Get every pick right, and you take home some cold, hard cash. Use the code 10K on your first deposit, double up to $100 by Underdog. Once again, that's code 10K on the Underdog app, or go to www.underdogfantasy.com or click the link below to get your first deposit doubled on Underdog today. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Wild Takes. As usual, I am your host, Marlow. Joined today with me is going to be Zooch, and then on top of that, too, new producer, new guy behind the thing. We fired Cam into the sun. The guy is a dunce cap, doesn't know puck, so we have Boss Man in its place today. Mr. Shutout,
Mr. Puck Knower.
We'll call you Mr. 305 like Pitbull, which is probably your goals against average. Drop it. No. He's dropping it down. He was probably at like a 7, 8, 9. A couple shutouts. I heard he got another 7 last night. Let's talk about that.
So I was asked to sub in if you know the Hockey Finder scale, it goes from 1 to 5, 1 being a beginner, 5 being like you could have gone pro. And I subbed in a 2-5-3-5. My rating is 2, which is not bad after playing for only like 5-6 months. And I subbed in a 2-5-3-5 level, which is really full of almost 4s. Mm-hmm. And I made a ton of incredible saves. I'm just fucking out of shape. So, once I made 5-6 really good saves, the gas was already drained from the tank. And I was just trying as hard as I could not to throw out my back, my quads, my hips, and my shoulders. So a little bit of protecting the body, a little bit of getting burned. And, I let in 7 goals. I predicted it before the game. I said I was either going to stack the pads or let in 7, and I was true to my word.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
For those people who are listening now and do not understand the Hockey Finder scale, let's just say like a 5 is probably like we'll say Joel Eriksson-Ek right now playing out of his mind, and a 1 being a Alex Goligoski. What player do you line up with in that scale?
Me?
Yeah. What's your player?
Well, I'd say I'm pretty realistic to my my idol Marc-Andre Fleury, because one game, yes, I can pitch a shutout. One game I can let in 1 goal, 2 goals, make some impressive saves, widen my legs like I'm about to get, painted like a French Canadian gal. And you saw the picture, and the next game I'll come in there and I'll let in 4 in the first period. So
do you flop like a fish out there? Just like Marc-Andre Fleury making saves.
I do, but it's not like him where there's an art to it. It's me just being off balance and unathletic and just trying my hardest to keep that thing from going in. That's what she said.
I do have one more question for you, Boss Man. Do you think you are ready to step up into our boot hockey tournament goalie?
The boot hockey tournament goalie. Now, I haven't done it in tennis shoes other than when John Schiavo made a...
But you'd be on ice. You'd actually, I know you were on kind of like synthetic ice with...
with the tennis shoes.
Harder.
I don't know.
I get it, but he can at least slide around.
I think if I was able to practice, what I would need to do if Cody would let me have the reins for that role
we could have a backup goalie.
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Well, we're just...
if we're trying to win it, the boot hockey one is more like that's a fully content one. We go to Scandia, that's like, okay, we're actually skating and we're playing.
Could have fooled me.
I'll accept the boot hockey role, but what I'll do is like a month leading up to it, I'm just gonna go to outdoor rinks with you guys and just play in my shoes.
Well, Boss Man, what if we went like 2 goalies? What if we went bounce between the 2, like we had Cody for game 2, like we have the Gus and Flower.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty amazing. And I want to go back to the boot hockey tournament. I remember specifically a line in that video where it's like, we might have to sign Marlow to a contract extension. I'm still waiting on that contract. Yeah. You don't even know if I'm going to be there this year.
Well, here's the deal. The contract extension is now, we're waiting for it because you forgot the score of the game in our first game.
Oh, shit,
don't remember. Marlow sits there. The time runs out, and Marlow's almost like kind of stick handling it out.
Good.
Hell yeah. And all of a sudden, I walk over, and he's kind of giving me the look like we won. I'm like, dude, we just tied.
I had
no idea.
No, I thought I was playing shutdown defense, not even shooting the ball anymore.
You were.
Yeah, I was like, we're good. Yeah, we're set. 4-2. I thought it was 4-2, 4-4. Go watch that video. That video is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
If you go to the Wild Takes Twitter account, you go to the Wild Takes Instagram account, you click on the little link tree bad boy in our bio. The video is right there, by the way, so you don't have to go very far. Right. Go watch the video. That was a ton of fun. We want to do it again, Minnesota Wild. Let's do it. I haven't seen it on the website yet. I'm checking it all the time.
We're waiting for our carrier pigeon with our invite to come to the new St. Paul studio.
That's right. We took 4th place. They better just invite us. We shouldn't have to look for it.
It's like the Masters. If you place top 10, you're invited back for like another decade.
I want someone to pull the stats. Who had the most in that entire thing? Like who did the most what? Whether I want it like broken down to a T. Because right now we don't have a whole lot of good Wild to look forward to. But I want to know who had the most shots on net, who had the most block shots. It'd be funny to go back and watch all that footage.
Well, I know our guy Lanceman had the most falls, so we can start with that. He did play good defense, but he had the most falls. I know I had a hat trick in our first whatever game and did nothing in the second one.
You were also the only guy to get injured.
Yeah, I think fucking dope. The goalie like stuck his stick out and tripped me.
You went down
scored.
So hard.
It was bad. I felt it in the back.
That was crazy. I think what we can do right off the bat here, let's dive into our stick tap, take a lap. Sure. I want to dive into what do you got for yours?
My stick tap is the rivalry between Nodak and the Gophers. That was a fantastic 2-game series. Nodak came out in the second game. They played well. The Gophers game 1 was just utter domination from start to, well, not really start to finish. They started off hot, Nodak did, but the Gophers kind of fizzled that flame real quick.
Yeah. And I think a good thing is that we do have Boss Man here, because what I want to ask you about, because you Nodak guy, Gopher guy sometimes as well too. You caught yourself a ton of flack, but what I'm upset about and what I don't understand is truly how happy Nodak fans were for an at-home split. They were so stoked.
Oh my god! The celebration from the team, like knocking the net off the bearings and like huge.
I mean,
it's the number 1 team in the country, so I get that. Like I don't want to play stupid. Like I understand that, but still, that
second
didn't
weekend
feel great. That didn't feel like a good thing for Nodak.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys watched both games, you'd understand why we were so happy, because we had no business winning either one. The power play was god awful.
Oh yeah.
The offensive possession was good, but Justin Close was just way better. The Gophers are just a significantly better team. Like the UND hasn't even been in the Frozen Four since I was in college in 2016. Yeah. So we're not a top tier team pretty much since Barry took over. I was actually starting to text people this weekend, like, is it time to have the conversation about Brad Barry? A lot of UND fans are on the fence about him too. I mean, he's a great recruiter, don't get me wrong, but shit, man, we're not a dominant program anymore. We haven't been great. Well, we're good, but we haven't been great since Hackstall was the coach.
Well, to be fair, they disbanded one of the greatest conferences of all time, and then that kind of ruined it for just about everybody.
Yeah, and another thing on Bradbury is he's kind of bad in pass protection.
Because that was the whole point.
Snapping the ball.
Well, I would say the whole point of I don't want to get into this because this isn't about college hockey. It's about the Minnesota Wild. But what I don't understand is I understand why they disbanded the conference. The thing that made
money
all of those teams so good was because guys coming out of junior who couldn't quite make it to the pro, or even vice versa, guys who were going this route instead of junior were going to play continuous competitive hockey. You're not taking on the Bemidji States. I can say that, by the way. Bemidji State guy. You weren't taking on the Bemidji States. You're not taking on the dog shit teams, very loosely teams out there. But when you were taking on the Sioux every single year, you were taking, it was sick times. And so it sucks that it's disbanded. It's ruined college hockey for me personally. I'll always be a Gopher fan. Growing up, my dad took me to shit tons of Gopher games. I miss Sioux rivalries. Can I tell you guys a story about my old man real quick? I'm going on tangents. I'm stoned, by the way. I'm going on tangents, but my father has one of the greatest UND stories of all time. We were down at a bar. I wasn't there, sorry. He was at a bar with his buddy. They walk in completely packed, right? I think, I don't remember where they're playing, but he's at a bar, whatever. Goes in there, and he notices completely packed. He tries to go up to the bar. He notices there's 2 seats sitting right there, empty, right? But there's drinks in front of it. Mm-hmm. There's also 2 Fighting Sioux jackets hanging over those stools. And he's like, So he walks up to it. He grabs the jackets, throws them on the floor, just takes the spot, and is just sitting there. 2 guys come out of the bathroom. They're like, hey, buddy, those are our seats. He turns around and goes, fucking so? Sioux guys left. Sioux guys are soft, official, lock it in. My dad's a big pussy. I'll be the first to say that my dad is a huge pussy. And the fact that Sioux guys walked away from him, he looks a lot scarier than what he actually is, but Man, Sioux guys are soft. I miss those days.
Those were probably a pair of aviation guys. Those were definitely pilots.
I just
don't claim them.
remember the Final Five days, man. God, the WCHA Final Five was
great.
one of the best tournaments for college hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And I went every year. Me and my grandma, that was kind of our thing growing up. She loved the Sioux, so we'd always go, and the Sioux typically got the upper hand in the Final Five. It felt like, at least. We had the Blake Wheeler moment. But they had championships in years that the Gophers didn't even make it, and it's just like, God, I hate this.
Well, anyways, great stick tap. Love that one. What do you got for your take a lap?
My take a lap is Iowa football fans.
Yeah.
guys. Okay, I get it. The call, it's a weird call. It is. If he doesn't return it for a touchdown, he gets tackled right away. No one's talking about it. But what we should talk about is how you guys had 2 fucking offensive yards in the second half. You don't win any games like that. Don't stop blaming the refs, you fucking losers, dude. Like, oh man, our TikTok account is just getting sewered with Hawkeye fans. The refs won it for you guys.
I want the smoke.
Our defense and your horrid offense won it. So
their quarterback is a fat little boy. That guy's fat as shit.
Dude, he's not good. He's quite literally, how is that a Division I quarterback? He is not. And you know what? Yes, all these guys are talented, Division I, yada, yada, yada. He's not a Big Ten quarterback, and that was a pathetic display. 2 yards.
Big, but maybe not Big Ten.
2 yards. Think about how insane that is.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so take a lap, Iowa fans. That was pathetic. That was actually a pathetic game on both sides. But your defense is good. We knew that coming in. So
did you guys see the picture of the Iowa fan who just like puked, puked everywhere?
Head on over to the 10,000 Takes Instagram or wherever.
I'm pretty sure it's on Twitter too.
Yikes.
Wait, we should just print that and put it on a shirt. See if that lady C&D's us. See if we can get that shut down.
The kid sitting behind her made me crack up too, because it's like the guy's got his hand on her like, oh, it's okay, honey. And there's just a kid standing right there like, imagine being 12 years old and you're just like, wow.
I just want to put it on a shirt. We'll do the Kirk Cousins like God bless them for no reason at all. Just
well, and did you guys see the shirt of the guy who was with her? I think it was her husband or a friend or maybe just someone say.
What did
it just said, "I heart hot milfs."
Yeah, it did.
Oh,
it did.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Did.
Iowa rules. You know what? You say they have the Iowa Wild down there. I love Iowa. I'm all for it. I like the D-Gens. I'm all for it. Iowa, wait. I can't fathom being that white trash. I just can't do it. Maybe that's what we do. We put it on a shirt, we print it off, we put "I love hot MILFs" across the top of it in the script, and we sell.
And then it's the picture of the chick throwing up.
Yes,
she is legally a mom.
Duluth Screen Printing Co. Let us sell this for like $12 a pop. We'll go crazy with them. So.
The Gopher fans will come out in full force for sure.
Let's get into wild. We got to talk hockey. I know we're getting a little off track here. I'm going to give you my stick tap here. It's actually to be the NHL app. I don't know if you noticed this or if you toyed it or updated it. I never update that NHL app. They actually now, you have a slider option where you can push it right on the home screen. It displays the betting odds for it. So selfishly, I love it. You can see who's minus 222 on the money line, who's minus 150. They don't have spreads or anything, but to be fair, everyone knows the spread is minus 1.5. It's always 1.5.
And
it's
look
just
at what team's better.
Yeah. So, they do display the money line stuff. They don't display the overs. I kind of wish they had that as well, too. But that's cool. I love that.
You know what? I do, too. I know in our group chat, there's a few people. I'm pretty sure Danksy and Voss did not like the new setup. So
dorks. Calling out our own people. You guys are dorks. This is the clip. Put it out.
Yes.
I'm going to tell them to edit it, too. You guys cut this up right now. Put it out. Voss, Danks, dorks.
Yes.
Lock it in. Zoom hard on my face. All right, take a lap. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you're kind of missing out. You can tell that like I'm fucked up, and Zooch is just keeping this whole show together. So, might take a lap, and I was torn on this one. It's going to be about good guy Evander Kane, the poor guy. 14 minutes a night in Edmonton, just not being utilized to his full potential. Goes online and complains about it. The guy deserves more. The guy deserves the best.
He deserves another finger from Hartman.
Hey, I mean, it's crazy that and I may be. You can tell me I'm too old for this one. I think I dislike him more than like a Sean Avery or like a Matt Cook. Like people hated those guys. I think I dislike Evander Kane that much.
Avery, no. Avery was such a fucking rat, but
he's still kind of a rat today.
Yeah, he is to this day. He's just a rat. But you know what? Sometimes you need those guys on a team. I'm pretty sure both those guys won cups, too.
Man, you're pretty young. Tell me 3 facts about Sean Avery. Go.
First one, he plays hockey.
Yep.
Second one, his first name is Sean.
Yes.
And the third one is he is a biological male.
You did better than...
Holy...
Well...
You did better than Cam.
sure?
I'll say that. You at least got 2.
Oh,
you
yeah.
got 2 at least.
Cam
We'll have to check on the third
floundered.
one. Yeah, Cam, we tried. That's what we do. He just says everybody plays for the Rangers. Which, if you would have said that, you would have been
You would
correct.
have been correct. Yeah, you would have.
So maybe Cam would have done well there. Either way, missed out.
Nylander. Yeah, he plays for the Rangers.
He's a Ranger.
He at one point played for the St. Louis Blues. That's another slut team.
Can I also another like?
A lot of people have been through there.
Can I say another take a lap?
Sure.
I don't understand. This has to do with it. I don't understand why people had faith in Edmonton to be phenomenal this year.
They always do.
Did you look at their roster? Like, so McDavid's
It's
out.
never that good.
No, it's never that good.
No.
And they wonder why. And I think what's funny is they always like, oh, they boasted up their offense. Their offense isn't the fucking issue.
No.
I mean, it is, but it's also not an issue. When you have 2 of the best players in the entire world, I don't think you need to stack more offense. But the issue is they keep adding defense, but it's offensive defensemen. Motherfuckers, you don't need that. You need pass.
Or goalies. I mean, sure, they got, what did they sign? Campbell, was it? Did
Yeah,
they get
Jack Campbell. Yeah.
Ooh. he did so good in Toronto for them. As soon as he leaves, they break the playoff curse. Like, okay. I don't think, who is their GM? Is it still
No, he's gone.
is the I don't think he is.
No, he might not
Ken
be.
Holland? I'm pretty sure it's Ken Holland. He is a dipshit. And I hope World Hockey Report's listening to this. Your team stinks.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, Stuart Skinner's not great either. I mean, he's young, I get that, and he shows potential, but holy shit, man.
Like Marlow hit it on the head, dude.
Yeah.
You have 2 of the best players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even reach a cup. I mean, for God's sakes, they're playing on the same line too, might add.
I know it doesn't make any sense to me. I'll never understand it. They're dog shit. But speaking of dog shit, Minnesota Wild defense. Let's dive into this a little bit as well too. That's when people come here. They want to talk Wild hockey. They want to hear about it. I did a little bit of stat pulling. We have so many problems on the back end, but once again, it is it's early in the season, so we have to take every little bit of this with a grain of salt, right?
Sure.
So what I did find out is the Wild are actually dead last in high danger shots, or what I mean by that is they're allowing in high danger shots. If you guys are unaware, make sure you head over to, I think it's NHL Edge. They just dropped it today. Phenomenal. It's super cool. It's kind of dog shit right now, but it will get better because what they did is I'm pretty sure they use those little analytic trackers that are in their jerseys and then the pucks and whatnot. And they're now giving us those stats that we've been waiting forever for. Which, by the way, Jake Middleton. Fucking crazy. He's in the upper 90th percentile for slap shot speed. He's hitting high shots this year. But that's besides the point. We're talking about how bad they are. We're not talking about Jake Middleton. So what it is high danger chances or high danger shots. It essentially is the best way I can describe it is you take the crease of where the goaltender stands, you take about 5 feet out to the right, 5 feet out to the left, and kind of make an extra little crease 5 feet outside of that one. We are allowing the most in the NHL, which is crazy. And then on top of that too, we are last place in getting those ones. We're 8th in the league in allowing them. That's what I meant to say. I apologize. We have, I think if I saw this right, we have 3 total high danger shot attempts. Whereas, like I said, we're 8th in allowing those opportunities.
They haven't been good. Anyone outside of Brodin, Faber.
No.
Faber is a absolute stud. Kalen Addison, can we talk about him? Dude, I understand it's his second season playing full time, and he's gotten some games before that. But buddy, you got to play some defense. And I understand the past couple games he's looked better, but it's not even close to NHL caliber.
Now, to be fair, you don't know what's being said in the locker room, right? Sure. Dino is in there. He's with a defensive defenseman as well too, which I get it. It's nice to have 2 defensive defensemen, or at least one, maybe a 2-way defender with a defensive defenseman. Don't get me wrong, but the way that this roster is set up, from what I can tell, is they always take, and this has just kind of been what the Wild have done. They take themselves a very strong defensive defenseman and pair it with an offensive defenseman. Unless you're talking about the Spurgeon Middleton one, which I miss so goddamn much right now. Middleton isn't playing great. So Spurgeon can hopefully wake that up for him.
He will. Our defense, and I will say that, our defense will be fine here in, 3 weeks?
Yeah, the more time that we can keep Goligoski and Merrill off of the ice, the happier. And it sucks. Ooh. I want to be a Goligoski guy.
I do too. Damon Hunt.
Yes,
Damon Hunt might be in the fold here. Let's get him up here. Let's give him some time, because I can promise you he might right now be better than Merrill.
Our boy
And
Damon, by the way, congratulations.
Yes.
He took that nasty little hit in preseason, which, by the way, completely clean. If you hated that one, I get it, but it was a clean hit. Clean hit. It was accidental content, so not even a hit for that matter. David Hunt gets the call up. We love him. Dude's hot as shit. Good for him. He's one who has been impressed me in training camp numerous years in a row. And so I'm happy that he's finally getting this opportunity, especially in a situation where we need a defender to step up. We need maybe a little bit of offensive production for the defense. Hard to say because Faber is so aggressive on the offensive side of things.
I'm just excited because that kid has gotten the short end of the stick now twice in juniors where he or the World Junior Cup where he's going into training camp looking great for Team Canada and then gets injured.
100%.
So he's a warrior. He battles. And I think that's what the Wild need right now is they need a young kid up here that's going to battle for him. And, dude, can he be worse than Merrill? There's no fucking way he can be worse than Merrill right now. I mean, and if he is, oh, well, he's a young kid. You're giving him a look.
Yeah.
So.
I also heard a lot of people complaining that we didn't call up somebody that was grittier as well, too, which I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Our best line has been Maroon, Dewar, and Duhane.
Exactly.
We don't need the grit.
And Foligno, Rossi.
Yeah.
And, literally, our best two lines are our grit lines. So
It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get why people think that that's just always going to fix the solution. Like, hey, we need to get more grit out there. We have the grit. If they're not doing their job effectively, then we have bigger issues. Like, we can talk about that part of it. We don't need any more when our best lines have been the ones that are hitting people out there.
They wanted Kyra to come up instead of Letary. I'm like, listen. Kyra might be great, but that is a physical player. He's not a guy that's scoring goals. We don't need that right now.
Yeah, I think Letary could be a little bit of a motherfucker as well, too.
Yeah. Well, and
you see his face?
He's fast.
You see his face
kid.
at camp?
Yeah.
Fucked up. He's doing something.
Yeah.
That guy's willing to just get the shit kicked out of him.
Well, I mean, should we talk line juggling now? I mean,
we can. I got that next one, but
Okay.
one thing I did want to talk about as well too is I looked up into Gus's stats as well too, because of course everyone wants to blame the goaltenders. Jack has notoriously hated Marc-Andre Fleury for years, but Gus right now is tied for 5th in shots placed. He is tied with Mackenzie Blackwood, who is on the worst team in the NHL right now, the San Jose Sharks. On top of that too, 5th in high danger chances as well too. So that means our defense are straying away, which I've talked about before, and I've complained about Merrill. I've complained about Goligoski. Even in our group chats on day one, I was like, Goligoski needs to not bite that aggressively. I've said it before with Addison as well too. Too aggressive on that one. Faber has even made those mistakes every now and again.
Has.
And what happens is they're biting, they're going into the half wall way too far, or they're getting caught behind the net. And another person's trying to go out to try and pinch that off. So you have two defensemen down low, leaving the front of the net open, and we don't have our centers or our forwards with their heads on a swivel in front of the net, which means high danger chances. He's played the least amount of games too. By the way, him and Mackenzie Blackwood, they're both tied for 5th. They both have only played 3 games. Everyone else in that list above them, 5 games, 6 games, 7 games.
That's unfortunate. I mean. And honestly, Gus has looked very, very good minus the Toronto game, but the defensemen have been terrible in front of him. I mean, he's almost saved 100 shots at home in 2 home games. That's insane.
Like I said, 5th in shots seen.
It's insane.
It shouldn't be happening. It's because they're just playing so poorly. And I don't know. The worst part, I don't want to get into the Wild offense because right now this needs to be a Wild defensive thing. We don't need to blame the goaltenders. Obviously, it sucks. Fleury played out of his mind, and he's capable of doing that. It's a special night with Montreal, right?
Yes.
So, grain of salt. I love grains of salt. You have to keep in mind that he's playing in front of all his family. He's going to play lights out. He's going to do the best that he can to put on the best performance that he can. And then the next night, he had a couple stinkers. One of the stinkers as well, too. Shouldn't have been a goal.
Yeah.
Stick was waved over the puck. You shut the fuck up. Stick was waved over the puck. It did not touch the puck. I will stand by that.
So you think it was the wind that moved it?
No, I thought it was a puck rotating because pucks rotate.
I did see one angle that made me question. I agreed with most of it. I did see one angle where I'm like, that puck moved.
Jack,
just a little bit.
Jack tiebreaker. Did he touch the puck?
I don't think he did. Yeah, unless there was an angle. I didn't see the other angle. I think Toronto just fucking hates us.
That's true. Yeah, we've seen a lot of bad reffing, but we can't blame that.
The Johansson thing the other night too was very questionable.
And and a thing that bugged me too is Fleury got frustrated after that goal and kind of led into the next one where he just kind of fucking paddles the puck up the board in anger and Dude, not against the Kings, man. They have way too much offense.
Yeah, and that's why I don't get too upset. Like, I'm not like, oh, we lost the game because he touched the puck. I'm not saying that at all because Fleury didn't play great, but that didn't help.
No,
I'm sure.
Especially because we were up 2-1.
Correct, and I was talking about that too. Like, Fleury's playing like the stick touch to the backdoor transition. That's why he's sliding instead of staying still. Because people are like, brain fart. Fleury just forgot how to play goalie. No, he thought he saw a puck get kicked. He's trying to adjust to the stick play because it can't count as a goal when it's kicked. And that's the part that pissed me off.
It was kind of funny how everyone thought the whole dynamic between Fleury and Gus was going to be that Gus played the really good teams, Fleury would play against the bad ones, yada, yada. Yeah. People were pissed off to see Fleury play back-to-back, especially against a high offensive team like the Kings. And everyone's like, well, why didn't we leave him for Columbus? And then 2 days later, Columbus shoots the puck 85 fucking times at the net. And you realize that wouldn't have even have mattered.
You're like, you at home have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
I'm not going to agree or disagree. I would have liked to see Gus in that Thursday
game.
Yeah,
sure. I don't think it makes sense to put a 37-year-old back-to-back like that.
You know what? Fleury, me and my dad were talking about this. He thinks Fleury could be one of the best backups in the league if we play him 32 to 35 times.
Agree.
You give Gus the bulk of the work.
Yeah, 50-30
he is your starting goalie, man. Give him the bulk of the work.
Mm-hmm. He's the guy you just paid $3.5 million to a year as well.
And Fleury is, dude, at this stage of his career, he's old. He still can play, but just not every night. Why are we trying to put him out there again?
Yeah, it did make a lot of sense. It makes me think that there was something that we don't know.
Probably.
That just wasn't talked about. Like,
Dean
maybe
likes the hot player.
Gus
he rolls
was
with the hot player.
True. So. Gus was dealing with unless it requires an in-game transition, but that's a conversation for another day. Speaking of in-game transitions, let's talk about the biggest talking point that exists out there, and that is Ryan Hartman an issue being on the top line? Does Ecker deserve to move on up in this? I want to get your opinions because I have some very strong points about this.
I am in the middle because I do think Eck is probably better than Hartman on the first line.
Yes.
But I like Eck with Boldy and when Boldy's healthy, obviously.
Okay.
And I was wrong. I don't think Johansson's the guy you take off this team if they do make a trade. He's looking good. I'll eat my words. I have no problem being wrong. But yeah, I don't know. See, it's a 50-50 thing for me. I feel like you might have to try it at some point. And Hartman might be better off on your third line anyway. True. Give Rossi. Give him Rossi looks good. Okay, Rossi has been playing a lot better, and he's kind of. I was the one that's like, I'm out. Me and you both were like, say that. We were like, I'm out. And then I'm watching him this year. I'm like, that was dumb. But I don't know. I feel like you can roll Rossi 2C, Eck 1C, Hartman 3, and there's nothing wrong with that because Hartman and Foligno on the same line, that might be kind of nasty.
Now, here's my counterpoint to this. And this, I was kind of hoping you'd be more aggressive about this so I can get into a yelling match with you, test out these new microphones that we got. By the way, head over to the YouTube, check out the studio. It's awesome. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Bubble hockey machine behind Zooch here. It's just sexy. Cut to him. Cut back to me.
Right here.
And then cut back to him. Look at that bubble hockey and then back to me. All right. So the why'd you shrug at that, boss man?
No, I gave you the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Don't fucking yell at me. I'm here on my own dime. I didn't even have to come in tonight.
We might have to bring Cam back.
Oh God.
Anyways,
bring fucking Cam back.
So here's this is what we needed. A little bit of grit on this podcast. Yeah. The Wild don't need it. We need it.
We need grit.
So here's my counterpoint to this, right? Now, the biggest talker is that people want Eck to move up to the top line, right? Because he is playing out of his mind. I looked up his stats as well, too. He is playing sick, and he's getting great scoring opportunities from, funny enough, the areas we talked about where we stink is the high danger scoring area.
Both him and Rossi are both going there.
Now, here's the deal, though. I don't think you put Ecker on that top line. I think you leave Hartsey there, you let them figure out, or you give Marco the opportunity. Here's why. That line that has Ecker on it right now is playing out of the minds. When you bring Eck, what people don't understand is they just say, "Oh, I'm playing NHL 24. I got to put my best players on the top line together. They'll get points." What you don't forget about is that there is such thing in the NHL called positioning.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about positioning, kids. So a centerman is mainly responsible in the defensive zone to take care of where your lapses are on defense. And I don't know if you know this, children. There's a ton of lapses on defense right now. Now, if you put Ecker up there and your complaint is that we're not generating enough offense on that top line, your solution is to put Joel Eriksson Ek on that top line to make up for our dog shit defense. So That way, Kirill and Zuccarello can get points. Now, that will work, but then we're going to hear people say, Eck is not a true number one center. He doesn't deserve to be up there because his point production dropped.
Yeah.
There's a trade-off here. Yeah. That's the thing. I want to put somebody in there that is I think it can work. I know I just said put Rossi there, leave Ecker where he is. Ecker's playing great. I like having that solid second line right now. I
like that take more.
I think you give Rossi the chance, and I'm not one of those people, just to be very, very clear. We talked about this just a little bit ago. I am not the person that's like, Marco is the future. We have to give him every opportunity, because so far I've been out on Marco. He got hurt. I get that. I don't want to be the guy that...
You have to earn it, too.
Exactly. And I think what you do is that's how you shake it up. You put that piece in there, but the issue as well, too, is I think what the guys need is a net front presence, which is Ecker. So I'm in a pickle, because Ecker deserves the opportunity, plays up to there, but then I also don't want to listen to you sons of bitches on Minnesota Wild Facebook, on Minnesota Wild Reddit, just saying, Ecker's production dropped. I think we got to try Hartsey up there.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
See, I think I mentioned this on our Bets show. We did a little Wild season preview on KFan, and I said Marco Rossi needs to earn his spot if he wants those top-line minutes. And I think this year he's going to those hard places. He's winning puck battles, which was not a thing for him last year. He scored a goal. He's getting points. And he has kind of been decent in front of the net. He's going to those in front of the net, those dirty places. And who knows? He's got some skill. We know he's got the skills to put up. He put up over 100 points in the O, I believe. And I don't know, man. I feel like that's the guy you give a shot with Kirill and Zucchi in those. It's a small line. It's undersized for sure, but it's a very skilled line.
I like us. I like the fact that we just workshopped our way to about like a center to throwing Marco on the top line of this team. I came into it, it's like, no. And then so I'm like, well, maybe.
I mean, come on. The third line, then, you have Foligno, Hartsey, and Gaudreau. Just three very...
That's another...
It's a good line.
Yeah, you could argue.
It's not a bad line.
Yeah, they could... I don't know. Good.
Or do you put Pat Maroon on the other side of it?
Yeah, this is where my bias comes in, because I want Gaudreau to get more ice time, but that's just me being a selfish asshole. Yeah, I mean, two kind of grindy lines, that's tough to play. Especially, you know what, that might be the answer. Now, did we just fix the Wild?
We might have.
Two grind lines, when your defense is so poor, all you have to do is worry about just beating the shit out of the offense and then allowing your guys to do what they do. You're still going to have problems from like a goal scoring standpoint.
Well, your second line still can grind too. I mean, Ecker's not...
Because they'll match up their... Unless you got a team like Boston with Patrice Bergeron, where like your top line can shut down like top lines like to a T. You're gonna have to put your grindish line against the top line. Sure. And if our guys are just beating down theirs because we have two of them, they're gonna have to make a transition at some point, because Dean won't. So we're gonna have to do it.
Dude, how good does Pat Maroon look though?
He's been great.
Dude, he's kind of got. Did I say it before the year? Jack, you might have to. I think it was on the Bet show. I said he's a more skilled.
Yeah,
Revo.
That's what we all. That's the take we all had.
He's a more skilled Revo.
His hands are actually fucking filthy. Like he played on that dynasty of the Lightning. Sorry, I couldn't think. All the cup runs and everything. And I always knew he was tough, but like holy shit, the guy's got skill. I mean, this is the first time I've ever watched him in depth, like every game, and he can put moves. He's not like Revo, where he's lucky to get like a tip in here and there. It's like this guy can actually fucking wheel, shoot, he can pass.
He came in on the
and
rush
he can
last
fuck
game.
someone up if he has to.
Yeah.
That's still there.
He did a little toe dragger out someone. Absolutely undressed the defenseman, and then he toe dragged the next defenseman, almost went right to the net. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Do you know why that is? Inline guy. That's why. Okay. That dude plays inline. He plays hockey year round. Like, despite the fact that people call him fat and whatnot as well too, he is a hockey guy. He plays all the time.
If you looked at him, the only other thing you'd think that guy does is like mine coal.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised not surprised when you say he plays hockey year round, because that is that guy's purpose. Like he was born to be, quoting Herb Brooks, he was born to be a hockey player. Like he was literally born, if you look at his face, to play this sport.
We might just have to do a bit like that, where we just pick careers, like different careers. Ooh. I could see Maroon being a porn guy.
A porn star?
Yeah, he would just keep his own name.
I feel like he's the creepy guy holding the camera.
I feel like that's Midzy. Midzy would be the porn guy with that stash he's got, man.
Who's the biggest porn guy on the Minnesota Wild roster?
Like, in terms of who's the biggest fan of porn? Like, who looks like they play?
Who would play?
Sorry.
Play porn.
Yeah, it's a sport. Don't disrespect
Yeah,
it.
come on, man.
Sweat more than most.
It's no, it's for sure Midzy. That mustache.
Well, I mean,
that's a porn stash.
what about Zookie? Zookie's kind of got that little stash, little short guy, I don't know.
Duhaime doesn't smile, which could just mean he's getting his. Never mind. We don't have to go.
All right.
We don't have to go too deep into this. Let's talk about the Minnesota Wild hockey. Back to it.
Okay.
So we, of course, coming up the schedule, like we talked about the last games, didn't go great, didn't look pretty and whatnot as well too. We have some teams coming up that we could do some damage to. Right now, we're coming up against the Oilers, 29th in the NHL.
No McDavid.
Yeah, no McDavid whatsoever. The rest of the roster is dog shit. So I'm saying that.
Loosely.
And this is where you clip it when we lose to them, because we are a worse team. I think that's one thing that people need to get in their heads right now, that this team has potential. It's not a great team. No, we will get there, but it's a matter of it's a waiting period. Like, we're not going through a true rebuild, but I feel like Wild fans are acting like this is the worst. They're either acting like we're supposed to win the Stanley Cup this year, or we're in the middle of the longest rebuild of all time, and they just can't get their heads around that.
Dude, 15 mil. I'm going to keep saying it all season. 15 mil against the cap.
Yeah.
And this team has been a 100-point team the past 2 seasons.
And
relax, people. We're going to pull the Aaron Rodgers bid.
Relax. And then the worst part is at the end of this year, you're going to see, Billy G put out another team that didn't go far into playoffs. It's Bill Guerin's fault because people are stupid. Yeah. And then I have to I get so frustrated at Wild fandom. It stinks because I want you to listen to this podcast. I want you to tell me that I'm an idiot as well, too. That's the whole point of this.
Yes.
But a lot of you guys are real big dum-dums, and it makes me mad.
Hey, really quick, going back to the Edmonton matchup, I don't know if you guys saw, but we had our first episode of the season of Draisaitl versus the Edmonton media.
Oh, I saw that.
The little scrum where he was like, what'd you say to Campbell, or what'd you say to Skinner after he made that mistake? Like, did you tell him something? He's like, he made a mistake. Like, I didn't fucking go over there and yell at him.
Yeah.
I'll still never forget, why are you so pissy, Leon? I'm not. Yeah, you are. I'm not.
Dude, that was great.
Fucking
I'm
best
not.
thing ever.
I'm not.
Canadian media versus players is just, it never gets old.
I get
Why
that.
are you so pissy,
That was, to be fair,
Leon?
that was such a stupid question. What the hell is he supposed to say to that? Like, the only other answer you can really expect is keep your head up. Like, what?
Keep your stick on the ice, bud.
Yeah, he's not going to go over and coach his fucking goaltender. That's a reporter that I am, and I don't know this guy, so it's gonna come back. Someone's like, he played hockey. That motherfucker did not play hockey.
No.
Anytime there's ever been a goal against my goalie, one of two things happen. I either skate my ass away from the guy, or I'm like, hey, that was my bad. It was on me.
Or tap his pad like you're good.
Yeah.
You know,
I
you're going to
don't
go over there,
say-
hey, buddy.
I don't say anything to those fucking lunatics.
Like, no.
The journalist just was probably assumed that he went over there. He's like, yeah, you RVH'd on the right post a little too quickly. You probably should have shuffled over a little later. Yeah, of course. Leon's breaking down his.
He's like, you're dropping your blocker.
Yeah.
You're dropping your
Skinner,
blocker.
have you ever thought about being square to the puck?
Yeah. No shit.
Hey, you need to shuffle a little better, bud.
You ever thought about getting good, cuz?
You ever thought about just saving that shot that you just let in?
Just constructive criticism.
Yeah, just think about
courtesy of
Now,
Leon Draisaitl.
Evander Kane might do that.
Evander Kane would go over and just deck his goaltender. Evander Kane would go over and then steal the goaltender's wife and then divorce her and have to pay alimony on it. That's what Evander Kane would do.
Proceed to spend more money than he literally has and file bankruptcy.
100%. Yeah, he's in Vegas. Just blowing it off. I'm like, can't pay you. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. That's Evander Kane. Evander Kane's such a piece of shit.
But Marlowe, he helped raise money for the kids.
We raise money for kids.
We help do that too.
We're pieces of shit.
Yeah, we also.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
look, hey, we got a check right there on the wall. What does that say, boss man?
Says Minnesota Health Fairview Masonic Children's Hospital, $13,000. It's a big check.
How many?
13,000.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. That's
And we're pieces of shit.
That's more
I
than
used
the average,
to be a piece of shit.
It's more than the average American makes in their lifetime statistically. So.
And we eat sloppy. Let's say we eat sloppy steaks.
What, in
We're
the
pieces
fucking
of shit.
1700s?
Yeah.
Like,
Back when the U.S. currency was invented.
you want to get to wild takes? And
No,
end
let's
this
talk
thing, or-
about the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So we're going history now.
Yeah.
Can we go to the Civil War first?
Let her rip. What do you got? I mean, Oilers. It's going to be a win. We got a few games coming up here too. We'll talk about that. We got. We got a Metro showdown as well.
We got 4 games this week. We got the Flyers.
Yeah, we got
the Capitals and the Devils.
Correct. Yeah, it's a top, bottom, middle of the Metro.
It's
is
literally
what it is.
everyone. Yeah,
it's the perfect s'mores that your Minnesota Wild need to hopefully get back into something. So Flyers number 1 right now.
Yeah.
Which Flyers is a team I've always believed on. I never thought that it would take getting rid of Kevin Hayes to get there. That's crazy to me. Kevin
Couturier.
Hayes. Yeah, Kevin Hayes. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, Couturier is back. And then they take on the Capitals, last place in the Metro as well, too. Which
They're just getting old.
shocking.
I think they actually are getting old.
And then the Devils right now, who is like a very heavy Stanley Cup favorite. I think they were third in odds before the season started. They're in the middle of the table, but the tables, it's so early that, once again, Salt Bay this bitch. Yeah. We got a bunch of teams coming up that we could potentially win. We also could go 0-3 on.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if we did.
I think we beat the Caps. I really do. They're old. We're young. We're not young, but, we're younger than them. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Flyers, that's going to be a tough one, dude. Because, I mean, like you said, it's early. How do we know this team's actually going to be good throughout the whole season?
True.
So those two teams could be, I mean, who knows? It might be 2 weak opponents for us. I mean, the Oilers early in the week, they're without McDavid. They're not looking good early. I mean, this feels like a week you should go 3-1 in.
Yeah.
But we'll go 2-2. Mm-hmm. with a overtime loss and maybe an overtime win, like they'll be just close contested games.
I wonder if this is going to be like just a really early season slump where we just like go on a real crappy heater and then everything is miserable because the Vikings will be bad and everything like that.
Oh, well, then don't listen to my wild take that I'm giving.
Let's go right into it. What a great transition. What is your wild take?
The Vikes are about 4 minutes from kickoff, and my wild take is we beat the 49ers tonight. And we win 4 of our next 5 to go 7-5 by our bye week.
Who are the opponents we got coming up?
The opponents, we have Green Bay next week.
W.
Should be able to beat them.
We have the Falcons the week after.
W. Desmond Ridder is the worst quarterback in all of the NFL.
We have the Saints following them, which could be that one is
that's
the one
that Taysom Hill emergence game.
And that's the one I think we lose right in the middle.
Okay.
And then we have Denver,
W.
Chicago.
Questionable.
Oh, come on. Not at home.
Al, I don't know. I'm a big believer in baguette.
Then, okay. Tyson Barnyard.
Bajaglio.
So, yeah, I mean, dude, that's 5 weak opponents. In my opinion, I don't think the Saints are very good. Another record is, I'm pretty sure, 3-3.
And JJ will be back against the Saints, right?
JJ will be back. I think 7-5. Even if they lose tonight, which I already said they're going to win tonight, it's still, they could win 5 of 5 against those teams. Mm-hmm. Let's just hope we can have a strong performance tonight, kind of kick us off on that. I don't think this season's over. It's Kirk Cousins probably his last season as a Viking, more than likely. I don't think he's going to go out like that. So.
No. Mm-mm. Can I give you my wild take, and we can kind of wrap up the show from there? Quick, short episode on your week and whatnot as well, too. We'll hopefully provide you a ton of pregame content since we got 4 games coming up here as well, too. But my wild take, and this is going to be one that's so stupid, and I'm glad that we get to finish the show with this one. I think that all major sporting events should fire their organist. I hate organs at sporting events, and I don't know how you feel about that. There's nothing that kills my boner quicker than an organist playing a song. Yeah,
even at baseball,
I don't want any of it. I want it out. I want that guy fired. If you know that guy, sorry, fire his ass.
The Twins organist is a 76-year-old woman, Marlow.
Fire her.
She says hi to every child who comes up to her.
So
What's her name?
Her name is Sue.
Fire her.
She's 76 years old. That's fucked up.
Sue's a bitch, yo. I didn't mean that. Cut that. No, the Minnesota. No, I want him gone. I don't want him out of here.
Okay.
Which, by the way, Jag, whenever I say cut stuff, I don't want you to actually.
It is also impressive, though, that they still employ actual organists who can physically make mistakes when you could just record a song via an organ and play it.
What's the difference? That's what I'm saying. Fire, get rid of it.
I've always been surprised. I get why. It's kind of like maybe the same reason you haven't switched to robot umps yet, but it's still always like, man, you have to pay that person, you have to give them benefits, all this, when they could just play it into a mic and then you could play it over the big screen. Yeah. It's not like you have live bands playing music between periods.
Put DJ Ski in there and let him just cook. He can play an organ.
Let him fucking mix those tracks, yo.
I'm all for that. Yeah, I don't want any... I don't want any organist in anywhere. I want them out. I hate them. They're dead to me. I don't know why I'm so strong on this. This is something I legitimately hate, and I want them dead.
Like when this started, I was like, I wonder where he's gonna go with this. Then I heard organist. I'm like, what? What the fuck's going on here?
Some people hate terrorism. Some people hate
world hunger.
Yeah, world hunger,
unemployment.
And Marlo's dying on the. I don't like organists. It's just I'm out on them. They're stupid.
Then going after Sue, the Twins organist, who just had a feature piece written on her. Come on, man.
I don't care. It doesn't.
It's fine.
Marlo, that's someone's grandma, man. That's fucked up.
I hate most grandmas, so that's
First, it's our fans are idiot. Now he's like, I hate grandmas.
Sue could be racist. Who's to know?
Hey.
Who's to say?
Who would have thought, listening to this episode, that Sue, the 76-year-old organist at Target Field, who gladly talks to kids and is very into the Twins, would just catch an absolute stray on a Minnesota Wild podcast?
Way after the season's over, too,
Yeah.
as well. I mean, if that's to be fair, hold on. This is your guys' argument. He talks to or she talks to children. Well, I don't care.
Okay,
if you don't talk to kids, you're an asshole. That's everybody talks to kids.
Yeah, Marlo has kids.
I did.
So
I
you talk to kids.
The only times I didn't talk to kids is when I had my mustache because I knew there's a line. The line would be
Gotta
crossed.
draw the line.
If
Gotta
I
grow
got
the beard out
got
first.
the mustache and I'm like, "Sup, kids?" They're like, I'm arrested. It's immediate.
All right.
Dead air. All right. Well, hey, quick.
I don't know what else to go with that.
I mean, yeah. So you guys heard it here. Fire organist. We don't like him. Get him out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Wild Takes. Make sure you head on over to our Twitter account, Instagram account, YouTube account. Check out 10K Takes. Check out our shop as well, too. Zookie's t-shirt. I'm rocking it right now. I'm rocking the cease and desist hat. Can't get it. Not
get
for
it.
you.
It's not
You
for
don't get
you.
it.
Unless you DM me personally on Instagram.
You can still get it.
Venmo.
Cut that. Have a good night.